Where do we start? Okay. 2 years ago, I went crazy. 1 year ago, I decided that I was going to do everything I possibly could to pour into my business, go to every convention I could, spend as much money as I could, and I was going to film everything. This included going on trips at least once a month, completely out of town, like different states. Sometimes it was conventions here in the city. Sometimes it was conventions out of, Chicago. And I worked really, really hard, and I did as many interviews at conventions that I could, and I did as much food content as I could, and life was really hard still, and I did it. I filmed it all. I got stuck at the editing process. So I have all of this footage that I have to go through by myself, and it's been so overwhelming. I kept thinking, it's cool. By January, I'll have everything ready. I'll be able to go. January will be good. February, I'll be good. I'll be good. And then that whole TikTok shop thing happened, and I kept getting free things, and it just became super overwhelming. So then I didn't do anything that I set out to do because I still have all of the interviews. All the while in the back of my mind, I thought, I did so much work. I've done so much work. So clearly I am entitled to media passes and press passes to go to more conventions. However, I've not showed enough of the content. Now, recently, I reached out to a food company that I thought I'd be working with and got the standard response of, we'll get back to you if we need you, which was really heartbreaking. The next thing that I was rejected from was Gen Con, which I was like basing all of my hard work and efforts on being able to get a press pass from them, because I am now applying at the right time and I did everything I was supposed to do, and I had good material to show them, even though not everything was up yet, but I don't do enough game content. So I tried for C2E2 because, again, I have game content, I have comic book, I have artists, and I want to meet with all the artists and give everyone my explanation as to what I'm trying to do, which is meeting with vendors and small business owners and just interviewing them about the background and the process of getting into these shows and doing the things there and what they're actually doing at their companies and where they are and all the things to promote the small businesses while promoting the conventions. And I just got the rejection letter today. I got 3 really big rejections in the last couple months. My sales have gone down significantly, and I just kept thinking, like, should I just quit? Like, the part of me that's like, should I quit? It feels really guilty for quitting because I have people who watch my content, who enjoy my content. And I talked to Rick and I'm like, do I quit? And he's like, no, you'll be so unhappy. And I'm like, yeah, but I've wasted a lot of money. I've used a lot of money. I have a lot of things to write off for taxes. And it's just really overwhelming. But then I started going through the footage again. And it's pretty good, man. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, the early ones are not that great. And I was even told by people, like, you don't have to release that. Which I was like, maybe I don't have to release it, but I feel like I should release it. So now I'm going to start to do all the intros that I've wanted to do, because that was the whole thing. I wanted to do intros for all of my interactions and all the beginning parts of the interviews that I didn't get to share about before, because there are parts that are done like off screen. So there's a feeling I have when I meet people. There's a expression on their face that I don't catch on camera when I'm asking their permission to film. So I have all of these little stories about these little companies and these small game designers or these artists at Artist Alley over at, I think it was C2E2 last year. And I just want to share those things. I felt like I'd be really disingenuous if I did that kind of an intro that was me here, sitting here and talking to you. But I actually think that that's the best way to do it, because you're going to get my side of things and then you get to also meet them. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to tell you right now that the whole reason why I'm doing this, like why I'm actually deciding to go ahead and move forward, there are actually a couple of reasons here. One, it would be stupid to quit. I'm a little bit worried about the solar flare knocking out our internet and everything, but I don't see myself ever giving up content creation. If the kids decided to homeschool, I'd probably veer that way, but as it stands right now, everyone's going to school full time and I have my life back a little bit. So now that spring break is over, and now that I've started my decluttering series, that's a dog, and now that I am ready to start, the other reasons why I'm starting is because I really do want the podcast this year. So in order for me to do that, like, that was the reason why I started cleaning the basement in my office, because I was like, dude, I have a goal. I want the podcast like now. I want it now. And I've already met with a couple of guys that are like kind of helping me with that, so I just will keep bothering them. But that leads me to the real reason why I've decided to release all of the content. Actually, there's two reasons, and they are together. The first reason is because the reason why I did the interviews to begin with wasn't for Gen Con to see what I did, and it wasn't for C2E2 to give me a free pass. It was because I really want to promote small businesses, and I think it's important to talk about the artists and what they do, and I just love that side of it, and not very many people are doing that. Some people just see, like, you know, the surface stuff when they go to conventions, and I like to talk about the real stuff, not just that like their table set up, you know. Like, I want to talk to them. I want to know who they are, and I want to share that with you because I have a little bit more of a platform than others do. So I want to do that. So I'm going to do that. And the other thing is because when I looked at the footage for the guys for X Seekers of Fortune, whose game isn't even out yet, although I do think they did get, you know, some of their game has arrived, it made me laugh. And I remembered the kindness of strangers. And I remembered when Danny gave me his mic to use, and he was the first person to do that. I did get a second person to do that too, but he was the first person to do that. And Joel was patient, and I filmed it all. And I was watching it and cracking up and looking at, like, because now we're all cool. Like, I know these guys. We've done, you know, a couple of, you know, like text messages, calls, and things like that. And I feel like when I watch them, and I watch them with Gabe, I'll tag everyone here, and Curvin, and they all know each other. And I don't know that they all know each other, except that I see them all know each other. Like, they're all like, they all know each other. And I met Curvin over at PAX U, and I met Joel and Danny at PAX U, and I didn't meet Gabe. I don't know if he was there. I think he was there. But anyway, I'm getting off track. I like the community, and I want to share it, and I want to showcase it, and I want to show you the behind the scenes because I think it's funny, and the kindness of strangers have brought me back out of my hole, kind of depression, to share with you all of the interviews I did. There's almost 100, I think, between the multiple conventions I went to last year. There's probably about 100. So that's what I'm going to do. So anytime you see this background with me sitting in front of games, I'm going to be doing an intro. And I just wanted to share that with you because it's really hard for me to go through and edit and then talk about everything. But that's the best way to do it, man. And it's going to be super fun because I think it's fun. Because I genuinely met so many cool people, and every interview was so unique. And I really enjoyed talking to them. That's it. Thanks for hanging out.